Yes, my dear students, welcome in this session. I am Mr. Emmanuel Charles from Edukea Tanzania. Today, my dear students, I need to share with you character and characterization in linguistics or language 2, that is literature. So today, in this subtopic, we shall see character and characterization, types of characters and their characterization. After looking at character and characterization, now we shall focus on the title of the text. When we are talking about character and characterization, first of all, I need to put this clear. When we are talking the characters, we are talking about the things that involving in a literary text or in the literary works, so that now they can be used to present or to convey the message in a particular community. So that is all about the characters. But the characters, these are in terms of objects, animal, or human being. Example, by referring in the text, that is Betraying the City. That is our reference. Betraying the City is one of the play that is written in Kenya. So that text now has been employed in the use of different characters like Mliri, the boss, Gaspar, Jasper Wendo, Nina, and Edoga. So that is a few characters that have been presented in that text, so that now they can convey the message in a given community, that is Kafira states in Kenya. So today, as we are talking about character and characterization, let us see now what is characterization. When we are talking about characterization, we are talking about the feature or the attributes or the attribute that is given to a certain character. So here, here let us see characterization. In the process of giving attribute to the characters, it is a way an artist presents and reveals characters. So the way how the artist or the writer has decided to present the characters, that is what we call characterization. Example, in the text that is Betraying the City, we could use one of the characters, that is the boss. The boss has been given the different attributes or different features, like the boss is the head of the state, and the boss is the corrupt leader, the boss is the selfish person, the boss is the corrupt due to the misuse of the public funds. So that is the characters according to it is characterized according to the way how the characters behaves in the text. So here now, after looking at characterization, let us see now what is the meaning of the character. When we are talking about the character, we are talking about a person or a thing that is given the rule to play in a literary works. So if an object or human beings is given the rules to praise in the literary text, that is what we call the character. Example, in that text that I have given an example like Betraying the City, whereby Gaspar or Adeka is given an attribute. Example, Gaspar is given an attribute as one of the character in that text, whereby he plays a part of presenting the culture of Kafira states and to demonstrate the problem that hinder the community of Kafira state that is in Kenya. So that attribute is given to him, or the rules given to one of the characters to play in the text, that is what we call the character. So this character is a person or an object that is given the rule to play in the literary works. Example, Adika, Mliri, Jasper Wendo in the text, so has been used the character in that text that is Betraying the City. So here now the characters are imaginary people created and used them to carry the message. Always these characters are being given the rules to present in the text, so that now they can carry the intended message from the author. Example, we can use another text that is Rwanda Magere. Rwanda Magere use the characters, one of the characters that Rwanda Magere So now Rwandamagere has been presented to show now Rwandamagere is the powerful person, as he used it to oppose the other tribes. So through using the Rwandamagere now, the author of Rwandamagere tries to show the way how now Rwandamagere could carry or could stand strong, so that now to show that reveals that in the community there are people who are very powerful and they carry the message. So through doing that now, you find that Rwandamagere, as one of the character, has been given this attribute to show that now in the community there are people who are giants and there is a people who are very weak. So that is the difference between character and the characterization. When we are talking about the character, we are talking about the person or things given the rules to play in the literary works. But when you are talking about characterization, is a process of giving an attribute to the characters. The situation of giving them the attributes or the features. That is what we call character and the characterization. So after looking now this brief explanation about those two terms, so now here let us see types of characters. Characters have been categorized in two different types. That is, there is protagonist character. This is the main character whom the readers admire. When these characters get trouble, the readers feel sympathy on him or her is called a hero. So protagonist character, this is the types of character that is given a rules to play in the literary works. But this protagonist character always does not change from the beginning of the story to the end of the story. Because if maybe he is a thief, always from the beginning of the text to the end of the text, he will play the part of being the thief. So protagonist character, this is the character always we say in literary text that he has the negative attitudes, of which now those negative attitudes as he carries from the beginning to the end symbolizes that this person does not change. So through which now due to this situation, this person is not able to change from the beginning to the end. But when he's not able to change, you could sometimes call him a hero. He's called a hero because he stands belongs to the situation where now he show the confidence, and he show the confidences. Also he stands alone, but he always this as he's become a hero because as he stands for negative attitude, he stands for negative attitude. As he stands for positive attitude, he stands for positive attitude. But the protagonist character in general, I could say, is the characters who is there for the sake of changing the society from the negative attitude to the positive attitude. But he sticks on the one thing, but he carries the message. If he stands for the one side, he does not change. So that's why we call protagonist character is very important in the text, because he does not change as he stands. If he is opposing the power of the present government, maybe the government is poor government and there is corrupt leader, now the protagonist character he goes against with the situation that exists in the community. After looking now this protagonist character, let us see the antagonist. The antagonist character who is in opposition with the protagonist character. These are two characters who are opposing each other. The protagonist character opposing the antagonist character, because the protagonist character always focuses to change the negative attitude of the society and to become with the positive attitude. But the antagonist character always he does not show that is what is the changes should take place, but him oppose the protagonist character. And this antagonist character always he does not make the revolutionary, and he does not maybe encourage the changes of environments or to create development in a given particular community, because he always opposes the protagonist character who is capable with the different problems that faces the community. So due to that, now antagonist character is the character who opposes the protagonist character, of which now this opposition led to the confrontation due to these two characters. Now after looking this types of character, let us see now other, that is the major or the main character. The major or the main character, this is the characters who dominates the literary works. He or she is found from the beginning of the story to the ending. Example, in the book that is Betraying the City, written in Kenya in Kafira State, there is the boss. The boss, we could say, in that text is the main character, because he dominates the text from the beginning of the text to the end of the text. So when we are talking about the major or the main characters, or sometimes we could find even this protagonist and the antagonist character, they could become the major or the main character, because even these characters, you find sometimes they be seen from the first page of the text to the end of the text. So of which now this implies that the main characters, they are there so that to show the way how they play the part in that literary text. They could sometimes play the part of bringing changes in the community, either by improving the social services or by encouraging to destruct this infrastructure that concerns this community. So those major or main characters, they can be protagonist character or antagonist characters. And then after looking now the major or the main character, let us see the minor characters. The minor, this is the character who assists the main character to convey the message. They are characters who plays the minor parts in the literary works, but they are not always the main character. They are there for assisting the main character to convey. Example, in the novel that is by Ngongi wa Thiong'o, that is titled The Man of the People. A novel, A Man of the People, in that text there is the man. The man is the minister. So as the minister of culture, in that text, the man is the main character. But there is other minor characters, that is Nangavanga Thanks. Nangavanga Thanks, those are minor or help characters, because in that text we see that during the context of political affairs, Odiri Samaru was contesting the throne, and the Chief Nanga was contesting the throne. So they need to win that throne. So through that winning the throne, during the campaign, the Gavanga thugs used the thugs groups to betray Odiri Samaru and to beat him until when he was injured until the government now decided to take him to the hospital. Of which now, if those characters play the part to help the main characters, those are being termed as the main characters. So in that novel, the Nangavaga Thanks are minor characters. So through that now they are there so that they can convey the message. So through using the Nangavaga Thanks, we find that there is a message there that the government now uses some groups of people, example the police and the other people, so that now they can beat people, or they can stop people to involve in political affairs and other activities. Example here now, as we find that in that text now, Odiri Samaru was humiliated by using the Nangavaga Thanks. That is now we find the message that there is a misuse of power due to the present governments, or due to the leader who are in power. Example, a man of the people. Example in the man of the people, whereby Chief Nanga uses the Nangavaga Thanks to beat and to humiliate Odiri Samaru. So after looking at that examples, now let us see point number 5, that is a static character. When we are talking about the static character, these are characters who does not change. This is the character who does not change behavior, in the work of words or in the literary works. As we are talking about the those who does not change. Example, in the betraying the city, that is the prey. Example, there is this character who is called Gaspar Wendo. This Gaspar Wendo is one of the character who has been portrayed in this text as the static character, as he does not change from the beginning to the text. He stands alone, and he fought for the culture. Also, he fights for the social and economic problems until the boss now. When he decided to quit from the government. So here, this is one of the examples of the static characters. So if you read the text and then you find the character does not change from the beginning of the text to the end of the text, that is temporized, that is a static character. So also there is dynamic character. When we are talking dynamic character, this is the opposite of static character. Dynamic means to change. Dynamic characters, this is the character who changes the behavior very easier. He or she is also known as the flexible or developing the characters. In the text now, it is very important character to change from moment to moment or time to time due to the improvement of different scene or acting. According from one act to another act, if possible, one character should behave as it is, and for the other times he should change, so that now he could show that there is the changes of maybe changes of minds, changes of body structure, and the changes of costumes or clothes during the creation of that work of words. So here, as we are talking about the dynamic character, we are talking about the character who change time to time. Also, after looking at that, now let us see point number 7, that is the stock character. When you are talking about the stock character, these are characters who are coming from outside the literary text. Example here, stock character, these are characters borrowed from another field like oral tradition. In the text, you find that there is no these characters, but during the presentation of that text, you switch and then you borrow the character from another literary works or from oral tradition. So if you borrow this from oral tradition now, that is what we call the stock characters. So my dear students, today I could say we have done with the character and the characterization. So after looking now character and the characterization, let us see now another part of form in case of element of literature, that is title of the book. When we are talking about now the title of the book, we are talking about the heading of the text or the heading of the book. No, here refer to the heading or name of the literary works. If it so when we are talking about the title, we are talking about those words titled on the text, on the upper parts of the superstructure of the part of the text. So of which now those words written there are mostly you find that those words are written in the capital letter. Or the initial letter are capitalized. So those are what we call the title. So after looking now the meaning of this title now, there is another additional, that is if it relates to the content, it is called the direct title. Now if you find the title is titled and the title it is direct with the content, that is we call it is a direct title. But if the title will be indirect, that will be ionic. It is ionic because you find that the title with the content of the text is not the same. For example, we could use the title that is a man of the people. That is a title, a man of the people, has used by Ngungwa Thiong to show that there is people who are corrupt, there is readers who are selfish, there is reader who misuse power, but they call the man of the people. Example, Chifunanga in that novel, he is called the man of the people, but when you read the text and the title is quite different. So that is the meaning of ionic, because the title does not match together with the content that is presented in the text. Yes, my dear students, now after looking now the title of the text, now let us see another term, that is language use or diction. When we are talking about language use or diction, we are talking about the choice of language or the arrangement of words in the literary works. In this work of arts, there is the use of language that is Sometimes you can use ordinary language, or you can use literary language. So when you are talking about the use of ordinary language, we are talking about using the language that has its origin, or the direct language. This language which has its origin, these are types of language which normally has its origin due to the historical and the comparative linguistics, the development of language from different nations. They have come up with the perspectives of the languages and development, that is historical and comparative linguistics. Now here, when we talk about the direct language, we are talking about the language that has its origin, and you can find it in the dictionary. But when you are talking about the literary language, we are talking about the language of art that sometimes you can find in the dictionary, but you cannot get the meaning, or you cannot find that coins which consists the meaning that is direct. But normally these terms you find that it is ambiguity, or it has the multiple interpretation, or the multiple meaning. That is the meaning of language or diction. In simple way, you could say it is this refers to the choice or use and arrangement of words in the literary works. So in the work of art, normally there is the arrangement and the choice of word. What kind of word should be used? Either the use of adjective, verb, adverb, and the other word classes that are being considered, so that now they can be used so that to beautify the work of art, because this work of art is characterized with the figurative language. So when now you use the application of figurative language, automatically this language should differ from other ordinary languages, of which now those ordinary language may or may not have the figurative language, of which now if the work of art will be written through using ordinary language without using figurative language, it will lose the features of work of art, and you will not, the work of art will not be built. So here, this what mean about language use or dictions. So here now, language is considered through the following types of language. In language use, you can find there is a simple language, there is complex language, the grammatical language, and there is ungrammatical language in literature. So when you find that there is a simple language, this means a person who will read the text will read the text in the simple way, and then will get the meaning or the message intended in the content. Or if you read the text now, you find that the text, the language is not simple. That is it is complex. So that language that is used, if it is very complex, it needs now the assistance from the dictionary, that is the literature dictionary, of which now you will read the text, and then you will find the meaning in the dictionary of literature, where now you can get the meaning. But if the language used is very simple, you read the directly, and then you get the straightforward the meaning of the text, and then you will understand it, even the title, the style of the text, characterization, and the other forms of literature. But if it is grammatical, you find that the text has employed the use of grammatical words. You find that if now the grammatical used in the literature, now you find the sentence follow the arrangement or the syntax and the structure of sentence construction due to use of grammar. But if there is the language is ungrammatical, now you find that morphologically, lexically, and syntactically of words does not arrange it in a good way, so that now you can lose even to get the structure of the phrase, sentences, or an utterance being employed in that literary text. So here now we are considering the language that is simple language, complex language, grammatical, and ungrammatical. So that is now that are considered in the interpretation of the literary works, because the literary works should employ this role, so that now to make the difference between literary text from ordinary language or literal text. So here that the literal texts are like history, civics, geography, and the other books. So here now, and as we are talking about this grammatical and ungrammatical, this means we'll show the difference between those two independent discipline. So here, by looking at this now, you can find also in the text there is imagery and the symbolism, figure of speech, and the other literary text in this diction. So when you are talking about imagery, we are talking about the figurative, the employment or the employ of the use of the figurative language, of which now this figurative language, you can find that there is, when the word is spoken, it creates the mental picture. Example, by considering in the novel that is The Beautiful and Not Yet Born in Ghana by Aiko Iyama. There is a terms like the man was called by Kumsuni that you look like an uncircumcised baboon. So that you look like an uncircumcised baboon, now you find that it creates the mental picture. So how a man can look like an uncircumcised baboon? What is the circumcised baboon? Maybe it is a small baboon, it is a big baboon. So you create the mental picture. So through using that terms or that figurative language, you create the beautiful language in the literary text, and it can convince people to read the text. Also here you find there is a symbolism. Symbolism, this is the use of signs. The use of signs in the literary text. Example in the text the signs, example in that novel, that is The Beautiful and Not Yet Born, there is the bus conductor, there is a passenger, there is a bus. So when the bus, so the bus, it symbolizes the country, the Ghanaian country. So, but even the bus driver is a symbolic representation of the president. The passenger represents the citizens, and the conductor represents the ministers. So here, it is a symbolic representation. So literature use figurative language to represent something in terms of using grammatical language and grammatical simple language and the complex language, but to convey the intended meaning in the given community. Also, there is a use of the figure of speech. As we are talking a figure of speech now, we are talking about the application of the oral styles used in literary text, so that now to ensure you get the success of presenting that literary text. So here, my dear students, I think now today we have done with this form, or with these parts of element of literature, that is a form. But before we wind up the session, I would like to leave this question, which states that explain why the title of the text is important in the work of one art. The title of the text is very important to the work of one art, so you will explain why it is very important. Thank you very much for listening. I will meet you for the next session.